Hello. I've got a new toy. It's a 1973 F250. Crew cab, 3/4 ton, 4x4. Got this sweet old deck on it. Little gin pole. KC. Mighty Might. Just testing things out. Pretty cool old truck. 8,000-pound winch on the front, works. So, why I bought this truck, it's a long story. I'm going to tell it anyways. In the background there is my other F250. It has a 460 big block. It used to have these wheels and tires. I think they look way better on this old girl. But I went down, I rented a big heavy car hauler trailer and hooked it all up. This truck's pretty much set up for towing. It's got 410 gears in the back. It's a E4OD transmission, but it's just a two-wheel drive. Anyways, I had a big car hauler and everything, and I had this old 64 Mercury that I picked up for parts on this car hauler, and I was hauling it up out of the field and blew the transmission. Didn't fully blow it up, but just took the front seal out, burnt it out, heated it up too much. I can drive it around now, but it leaks all the time. And it's not just as simple as replacing the seal. This transmission was slipping anyways, heating up. So there's no point in pulling it just to do the seal. I'd have to pull it and rebuild it. And I don't really have a place to rebuild a transmission because I do everything out of this garden shed. Anyways, ended up getting saved by a Dodge with a Cummins in it. Came and saved me. So I got this old car home. It runs amazingly. It actually runs really good. It's parts for my good Mercury over there. That was my grandfather's. Big old stacks. So trying to come up with what I was going to do. Maybe rebuild this transmission, but then this truck still isn't 4x4. And then I found this. I was like, what the heck? I don't have enough projects. Unfinished projects. Let's start another one. Pretty cool though. So this truck has a 300 inline 6, which isn't a whole lot of motor for something this big. It's a lot of iron. But these are torque monsters. Everything works really good. I mean, the brake boost, brake master cylinder leaks a little bit. I don't think it had power brakes from the factory. I think it got put on. Same with the power steering. Put that on. Looks like he went through the ignition recently. It works good. It's got dual batteries, one for the winch to run off of. And it's got solenoids and things over here to control all that. Single barrel carb. It's a 4-speed standard. So it has a NP 435 transmission and a divorced NP 205 transfer case. Well, switches for the auxiliary lights. You put the headlight dimmer on the dash. It's kind of annoying. I'll put that back on the floor. You know, you got 2 high, 4 high, neutral, 4 low, 4 speed. You don't use first gear on these trucks. It's granny gear. You only use it, I don't know, when you're rock calling or towing a really heavy trailer to get moving. But you pretty much drive these like a 3-speed. You start out in second. When I got it, the radio didn't work. The speaker was all shot and it had no antenna, so I fixed those 2 things. Put this RPM gauge on it. I don't know why, but vehicles that need RPM gauges the most never have them. Never. I already had that gauge. It's out of my 91 Caprice. That another seal. I have big problems with engine seals. And they go and I just give up and I move on to the next project. But this is pretty cool. Not giving up on this thing. That was a console out of a GMC. That's pretty neat. These seats are horrible. They're out of like a little Honda car or something. I have to get some better seats. Crew cab. Leopard print. Ooh. It's got seat belts. It's got duct tape. It's got a gun rack. I don't even own a gun. Maybe I should get one. Some garbage. Mostly mine. It's got a lot of character. Lots. And to put these aluminum rims on, they match the bolt pattern, but they're not really hub centric. But the truck doesn't shake. It works pretty good. The factory lug nuts are not going to work on these big thick aluminum rims. You have to get these acorn style lug nuts. The factory ones start chewing into the aluminum. So I had to get 32 of those fancy lug nuts. Someone added power steering, and that consists of this thing, this ram thing, the pump, and this ram on the front axle, that one. Assist ram. This is a Dana 44 closed knuckle. So it's kind of neat. It's got those big balls. Big balls. It closes the U-joints in there, and they're filled with fluid. So the front axle has 3 fluids. It's got your diff fluid, and both of these knuckles have fluid in them too, and I drained them last night and they're just milky. Even the owner's manual says if this thing goes through any water at all, you gotta change that oil. There's a big seal that goes around there, and they're getting hard to find, and they never seal right. You can see that one's already leaking, but no big deal. Just top them off once in a while. A big old inline 6 up there. We got a starter. Damn. Okay, let's move to the other parts of the underneath. I like it. It's funny because I have a brand new truck, but I'd rather play around with these old things. You know, unless it's like 30 below and you just want to get to work. That's what the new truck's for. So you got your diff, your leafs. There's the NP205, hard to see, NP205 transmission. Should have done this from the other side. But it's got this little drive shaft on the back that goes to the transfer case. Sorry, that's the NP435 transmission. This is the NP205 transfer case. New process. This is a gear-driven transfer case. Divorced, so it's mounted to frame on its own. Little drive shafts on these things, look at that. Down to a Dana 60. Guy said that's been all rebuilt. Look at those factory blocks. It's like a 5-inch factory block. This truck is not lifted and I can crawl around underneath it. NP205. Sorry for the shaky camera. I am crawling around underneath the truck. I just changed the transmission fluid last night. Used synthetic. Synthetic is safe for the synchros. I see a little bit of fresh oil there. I have a little leak. Well, there's the shift linkage on these MPs. You can buy a dual stick kit for these, and you can, what that would do, right now you have 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low, but if you dual stick them, you can have 2 low, which is kind of neat. For hauling a trailer or something, I don't know why you'd really need that much gear reduction, but so how you check the transmission, you take out that top plug and just fill it up to that level, fill it up till it comes out. This plate here is if you have a power takeoff, PTO, that's where that would go. These front knuckles, you want to do that little plug there and fill it up until it comes out. Looking like a sieve. And same with the transfer case. 2 plugs. Take that one out, fill it up till it comes out. That one's how you drain it. I got a leak. The rear seal. Rear seal is gone. See, it's been leaking for a while. We got all these little grease nipples everywhere. When you get an old truck, you want to make sure you go through and grease things. They're everywhere. Somebody welded a glass pack on here. It's quiet. Just dumps in front of the rear axle. There's so much room for activities under here. Yeah, cool truck. I love that gym pole. I want to set up some sort of rotating crane assembly, pick up engine blocks and stuff and drop them in the back. So future plans for this, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I'm gonna do for motor. This motor is really good, doesn't smoke or anything. Fires up really good. I'm half thinking just hot rod this inline 6, have something different. See here I have a good 460 and a bad transmission. So if I could find, it's a 351M or 400 bow housing. It bolts these NP transmissions. But it doesn't just bolt to the 460, you need a bit of an adapter kit, spacers, things of that nature, special flex plate. I don't know all my specs, don't quote me on this, but some of these 460s are externally balanced. You need a special flywheel, some of them are internally. It's big old. These tires used to be on that old blue truck. These little front tires are actually what came on the big old red truck. I think they look kind of neat on here actually. This truck runs and drives, but you know, you can't trust it very much. Can't hook the camper up to it because you'll get some, you know, I don't know, get about half an hour out of town, the front seal will go completely and you're stranded. Just put this Mac dog on there, on my record. But here's what I'm thinking for this inline 6. Here's what I'm thinking. I just happen to have, I have a lot of strange things laying around. Oh, there's the factory speaker out of that 73 Ford. Mint. I happen to have a turbo. Look at that, a turbo. Oh, avalanche of junk. It's a Garrett. It's a Garrett turbo. And the doohickey turns. Fairly tight. turbo. Goddamn. Okay, I'll fix that later. Look at that. I have a 4x4 out of E4OD. Fits a 351 Windsor. Just laying in the back. Transfer case is gone. Anyways, back to the topic. Turbo charged. 300 cubic inch inline 6. I like it. That would be something special. But if you're gonna do it properly, it's not just as simple as slapping a turbo on there. You need stiffer valve springs. You need to go through the engine. You need to file down the ring end gap. There's a lot to it. Already throw the turbo on until it explodes. You know, do either. These 300 inline 6s are the same bolt pattern as a small block Ford. So 302s, 50s, 351 Windsors. So there's a couple options here. I could bolt in a 351 Windsor. I could go through a bunch of fancy adapters and get a 460. I could try and find a 460 truck that already has a standard and put it in here. The extreme end of the things, I could find a 7.3 diesel, turbo diesel with a standard and put it in here, but I'd be probably looking at 3-4 grand for that truck, on top of what I paid for this, which I can't tell you because it was too much. Lots of different options. I mean, it runs and drives right now. Third gear is noisy, which means one of the bearings is going in the transmission. But it's going, it's not gone. It's gonna last for a while yet. Rear seal, transfer case leaks. 0 to 60, you know, eventually, maybe, if you get there. If you're going up a hill, you're not getting to 60 miles per hour. I have a 351 Windsor, a really nice one right here, with headers in the whole 9 yards, but I'm not about to take this car apart because this thing is awesome. I've been waiting for a windshield for this car for 5 months. 5 months. That is ridiculous. They ordered a windshield, they took my old one out, they tried to put it in, it was the wrong windshield. It didn't fit. So I got my car back without a windshield. They couldn't find the right windshield. They have to order one from the States, because I'm up in Alberta. It says it's gonna be a $1,500 windshield. I said, I guess it has to be. I guess I have to do it. I need a windshield now. And that was maybe 4 months ago. So a month goes by and I call them. They're like, yeah, it could be here any day now. Another whole month goes by. Where's my windshield? Oh, the place, there was a mix-up and it never got ordered. Well, you better order right now. See, that's my problem. Sometimes I'm just too nice. Way too nice. Anyways, they say it's on order. It's been another couple months. Still not here. I got half a mind just to take this windshield out and put it in. I mean, it's got one nasty crack in it. Hopefully, I don't know if I could get the whole thing out in one piece. Be a tricky operation, but at least I could drive my car that I put a lot of money into. This is running into a 20-minute video. Okay, I'm gonna do another video on this thing, but it's gonna be another time. Stacks. Okay, thank you for watching.